I've shared this story before. When I went into seminary, my parish had adopted a Vietnamese family who were immigrating to the United States. So I decided that I would just donate all of my stuff to them. As I was going into seminary, I wasn't going to need it anymore. Just give it all away. And then as I was packing everything up, getting ready to leave for Baltimore, I began to wonder, what if this isn't what the Lord is calling me to? What if I go into seminary and discover that this is not the life that He really wants for me, and I leave, I'll have nothing, and I won't have a job. I will have given everything away, and I will be in want. And I started to get panicky, and I was hoping that the Lord would give me some sort of reassurance that, yes, this is where I want you, this is what I want you to do. And it didn't come. And I started to panic. And I could hear my blood pumping in my ears. Thump, 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 thump. And I sat down and tried to breathe, tried to compose myself. And as the thumping began to die down, I could hear the stereo that I had been playing. And I was playing one of my favorite artists, Bob Dylan, from Blood on the Tracks. And I could hear Bob Dylan singing, "You got to serve somebody. It might be the devil or it might be the Lord, but you got to serve somebody." I never did get affirmation that I was doing what He wanted, but I got a kick in my seat. It was as if God were telling me, either do it or don't do it, but stop whining. Stop complaining. If you're going to do it resolutely. Jesus resolutely determined to go to Jerusalem. Amen. Now, the 9th chapter of Luke is a pivotal chapter in that gospel. So much happens here. This is the chapter where, in the beginning, Jesus is beginning to wonder and question who He is, and He asks His best friend, "Help me figure this out. Who am I?" And Peter says, "Well, you are the Messiah. You are the Son of God." And he begins at that time to say, "Yes, you are right. That's what I've been feeling. And since that is true, this is what's going to happen to me. We're going to go to Jerusalem. I will be arrested. I will be hurt. And I will be killed. But I will be raised on the 3rd day." And then immediately after that, the apostles begin to argue about who's next in line. When He's gone, who's going to be the leader of this group? Nothing was really happening for Jesus in a positive way. He was not getting all the affirmation that He needed. Then after that, they go up to the mountain, same chapter, they go up to the mountain of transfiguration. And He's given an even clearer image by Moses and Elijah of what's going to happen once He gets into Jerusalem. And He tells them again, and He says, "Listen to me, listen. When we get to Jerusalem, I am going to suffer. It's going to be really hard." This is the fully human Jesus who's afraid, who doesn't want to do this, who doesn't want to suffer the way He was shown that He will suffer on that mountain of transfiguration. He doesn't want that pain. And He wants to talk to His friends about it, but His friends can't understand, and they just keep on arguing about who is next in line. And then He was so resolute in His determination to enter Jerusalem that He goes right through a Samaritan town. We talked about the differences between the Samaritans and the Jews before, and how the custom was for the Jews to go around Samaritan towns. Never went through. But Jesus was determined, and He just went straight. Nothing was going to get in His way. And when He gets there, they don't welcome Him, which to us just sounds like an insult or a slap in the face, but it was so much more than that. I've been to the Holy Land, and if you have ever been there, you understand this. There are still villages, towns, and cities that are separated from each other by absolutely nothing. It is desert, between them. You drive through and you drive through the desert. In Jesus' time, there was no drive, they were walking. And it would have taken them days to get from one city to another. So if a city does not let them in and give them fresh supply of water, fresh food, rest, they are very likely going to die in the desert. So it was more than just an insult to Jesus when they wouldn't let him in. But when James and John asked, Lord, do you want me to call down fire to consume them? You could really have understood if Jesus said yes. We could understand frustration because I think we've all been in situations where we start out to do something and then one thing after another goes on, happens, and it detracts us, it deters us, it slows us down, and we get frustrated. And in our frustration, we do things that would be completely justifiable. But the question is not, can the action be justified? The question is, who does it serve? Because you got to serve somebody. It might be the devil or it might be the Lord, but you got to serve somebody. So even if we can justify a response or an action or a word or a lack of response, a lack of word, even if we can justify it, the question is still, who does it serve? So often we start out like Jesus did. We start out with great resolve. We are going to make our lives better. We are going to do something that is going to improve the lot of somebody else. We are going to be a better person. And then the world doesn't stop turning for us to make that happen. And when one thing after another happens, we just simply lose our resolve. We resolve to start eating correctly, start eating better. And then as soon as we do, somebody cooks our favorite dessert and we can smell it. And we lose our resolve. We make a decision that we are going to live more patiently and more compassionately. And then we get in the car and some fool cuts us off and we lose our resolve. We make the decision that we are going to be more civil in our discourse with other people, and then somebody says something that is just utterly ridiculous, and we lose our resolve. The problem with Christians is not that we lose our faith. We simply lose our resolve. And when our resolve goes, we begin to ask the question of what can be justified. Can I justify a response? Can I justify this word? Can I justify this action? Can I be justified in what I do? And, we're really clever people. And we can find a way to justify almost anything. So the real question is not what can I justify, but who will I serve? Because you gotta serve somebody. It may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you gotta serve somebody, and it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are. It doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. It doesn't matter. You gotta serve somebody. You've gotta make a choice. So either serve or don't serve. But if you're going to serve, serve resolutely. Either go or don't go, but if you go, go with resolve. Love or don't love. But if you love, love resolutely. Everything we do serves somebody. And so before you respond to anger with anger, ask yourself, who are you serving? Before you respond to that person that cut you off on the road, ask yourself, who does this serve? Before you post and share one of those angry memes or posts on Facebook, ask yourself, who does this serve? Because everything serves somebody. And you have to serve somebody. It may be the devil or it may be the Lord, but you will serve somebody. And if you serve the Lord, make sure you do it resolutely.